Alright, interesting first pick. We've got Mind Vision, Cabal, Shadow Priest, and Molten Giant. I think this is an easy Cabal Shadow Priest. Not a... Oh my god. It's gonna be one of those decks. I can see already. Alright, 2 Cabal Shadow Priest to start this up. That's really good. Really strong. I'm liking this already. Oh man, alright, we picked another Cabal Shadow Priest. Hey Dex. Oh man. Alright, we got Bloodsteel, Raider, and Yeti. Overall, the Yeti's better, but the Bloodsteel's more consistent. However, Yeti's better. I think here it's okay to pick the better cards. It's just okay to just have the Yeti here. Alright, here's an easy Dark Cultist. Compared to Acolyte of Pain, the Dark Cultist just blows out the water. Alright, so we've got Silence, Young Dragonhawk, and Elven Archer. I think compared to all 3 cards are not the best, but I would think the Elven Archer edges out a small edge compared to the Dragonhawk and the Silence. Alright, so here I like the Abusive Sergeant. Maybe trade something, trade up. Seems pretty strong. Nothing wrong with the card. Alright, so here we have Cogmaster, Mind Blast, and Wolf Rider. I definitely prefer the Wolf Rider over the Cogmaster and the Mind Blast. I think it's more of a solid pick than the other 2. Alright, so here it looks to be an easy Holy Nova. Holy Nova just a strong AoE compared to Flying Machine, Mind Blast. Not really too aggro. More control. Priest is my preference, so I do like the Holy Nova here. Alright, so it's Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, Mind Control. The Divine Spirit is the Inner Fire, not too strong, not too consistent. However, Mind Control, if you can make it to turn 10, you can definitely steal some things, get some control, win the game. This is going to be quite a cheesy deck, it looks like. Alright, so we don't have any 2-drops right now, so it's preferred to start picking up some 2s to have some early games. Skipping 2 for Priest is really critical, so I have to pick the Shadow Box over the Twilight Drake here. Alright, so here it's between the Acolyte of Pain and the Lightspawn. DeLorean Mage too weak. Acolyte of Pain's a 5/5 for 4. Pretty solid. Sometimes it can be traded down, but overall it's a decent card. Acolyte of Pain is good for draw, but we don't really need draw in the deck at the moment, so I'd probably just go with the bigger minion, the Lightspawn here. Alright, this one's interesting. We could go for a more control deck with a Light Bomb. Or we could go for the Echoing Ooze. It's a 2-drop. Maybe we can combine it with Abusive or Elven Archer to have some use of it. Shave Nax Arms is also decent, but I don't really think it's necessary here. I actually like the Light Bomb. I feel this is a... Hey Bass, how you doing? We just started. I actually feel the Light Bomb's more consistent of a pick than the Echoing Ooze here, which is pretty solid. So this deck is going to go really late game type of deck. Between Darks and Yeti, I'm not going to pass up the Darks. I think about it. No, it's easy Darks, Iron Dwarf here. Alright, I actually don't like Ventricle that much. It's too weak, too vulnerable, and Temple and Force is a really good 6-drop, so it kind of makes it easy pick here. Alright, so between Cogmaster, Infantry, and Acolyte of Pain, we don't. How many mechs do we have? We have 2 mechs, the Shadow Boxer and the Mechanical Yeti. I don't really think that's good enough. The Infantry, it's an interesting charge. We have the Abusive and the Dark Iron to maybe find the use of it, so it could have some use, but I prefer the draw the Acolyte of Pain over the the infantry. I kind of feel we need more early game right now. We're kind of lacking. I would take another Dark Cultist over the River Croc, even though they're both. Even though we need more 2s, Dark Cultist is just far and away better. I'll take it. This Arcalite wants to. Alright, so between Owl and Frost Elemental, I really do not like the Owl. I just think the silence effect is not strong enough, so I will definitely pick the Frost Elemental over the Ironbeak Owl here. But I'm really worried about the amount of 2s we have right now. It's not enough. So here I'd pick up the 2-drop the Direwolf Alpha just to have some more 2s. Probably going to pick up 2s very heavily. Hey Fire Tiger Films, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Alright, between the Mad Scientist and the Light Spawn, why don't you like Ventricle? Against Temple Enforcer it might be weaker, but in general Ventricle is a very strong card, don't you think? I actually don't think it's a very strong card in general. When you play Ventricle, you open yourself up to 4 different things. You open yourself up to freezing effects from spare parts from mage classes, from Frost Elemental. You open yourself up to humility effects from Peacekeeper, from just the card Humility. You open yourself up to taunts, anything like a Neutron or Sludge Belcher or just Sunjin, any taunts, and you open yourself up to just the opponent playing minions that do not have enough attack for your Ventricle to trade up. So when you play Ventricle, there are 4 different things that are likely to happen that can make your next turns, your next couple of turns, very low on tempo. So that's why I don't like Ventricle in general, because when you there are games playing a Ventricle can lose you outright, where any other card like a Spectral Knight or anything would have been a lot safer. So that's why I really don't like having Ventricles in your deck. The only time, if I do pick Ventricle, the only time I like to use it is very late in the game, where the Temple's loss is not as big or as critical, or if you have a ton of spells to back it up. If you have a 6-cost spell that you can use guaranteed next turn, then it's not really that much of a drawback, because you're going to be able to use all your mana. So that's really the reason why I don't like Ventricle here. Here I'd pick the Light Spawn over the Mad Scientist. Even though we need more 2s, I'm not going to pick up a really bad 2, and I'll just pick up the more consistent Light Spawn here. I like the Veiled Teacher. I don't think Ancient Mage or Master Spell does it enough, so e.g. Veiled Teacher here. Alright, so here we want more early game. It looks like the Ogre Brute's the best here. Fen Creeper's also solid, but I don't want to pick up the Murloc Raider even if we need some more early game. Hopefully we get some 2s. Definitely going to pick the Fairy Dragon here over the Yeti. Even though the Yeti is pretty strong, we definitely need more 2s in this deck. Alright. A second Holy Nova seems nice, but this deck needs more early game, so I definitely lean towards the Pain. Even though they're all pretty good cards. This deck has too many 6s. Novice Engineer is not really a card I want to pick up, so I'd probably lean towards the Ogre. I'm kind of glad we have the Light Bomb, because we're going to need it in this deck, definitely. Alright, good. Zombie Chow. Alright, Zombie Chow's coming in to save the day, to turn the curve around. It's a very good draw here. Just wondering, how long does one coaching arena last? Probably 2 to 3 hours. It takes a while. So here we have the Questing Adventure or the Drake. Questing Adventure is not really a card I want to pick up too much. Did you guys hear the thundering, by the way? It's been thundering outside my house for quite a while. It's been pretty nice. I mean, I guess, like, since I'm not outside, it's not as, like, you know, threatening to my health as it could be. So it's kind of just like unusual and interesting to me. Here I'd pick the Ozra Drake over anything. We actually don't have any 5-drops. The only 5 we have is Holy Nova, and that doesn't really count. So we'll probably have some use. Hey Gandalf, hope you're doing well. Alright, I think here is an easy Northside Claire. Compared to the other 2 cards, they're just not strong enough. I'm on 2 streams at 1:10:10. Yeah, I saw Shitty Bunny's co-opting Irashima. It's pretty cool to watch him do that. I was watching. I was very busy watching that. I was in. I I got distracted by the stream, but I'm back. I usually try to start around 10, so it's good for me. I'll take the North Side Cleric here. Do we even have any dragons? We have one fairy dragon. Oh, and we have a Zerd Drake. We have 2 dragons. That's more than I thought we would have. But between these 3 cards, I kind of like the Darkscale Healer the best. We don't have any 5s, so having a 5 drop is pretty solid. And I feel we already have enough late game with the with all of this 6 drop, so I prefer to have the 5 drop here. Alright, here we're forced to pick another Temple Enforcer, it being the best card out of all of these, kind of forced to pick here. And oh man, I'd love to have a 2 drop. Gander. Do you mind if I be Kochi after my Counter-Strike game? Yeah, we can do you. Alright. So last pick, I'm actually leaning towards the Doomsayer here. I'm actually leaning towards the Doomsayer here. Mind Games is not really a consistent card. Shadow Bomber is just a 2-1 that doesn't do anything. With Doomsayer, you can play on turn 2 and stall your opponent, it being very hard to take out on turn 2. And stall your opponent into just not having enough to deal with it. Another thing you can use is maybe on turn 6 you can like Doomsayer, on turn 8 you can like Doomsayer and then Temple Enforcer, have a 0-10 that he has to deal with. If he can't deal with it, then the Temple Enforcer gets a free use. I see some combos with Doomsayer for the early game that I don't see with the other cards. So I actually would like the Doomsayer here. Me, but yeah.